They're going to be using 11 units. They're just bringing 2 supplies because it's the tanks and this one there and these 8 guys here versus the Germans. And we're on to turn number 7 in our North Africa game, on with Germany, and a couple of, I was going to say interesting things, but they're just things that occur in this game. We got the Americans and the Brits landing in Casablanca, Oran and Algiers. That's upcoming at the end of the turn. And just to point out, those 2 submarines that Germany bought last time round, plus one they're purchasing this round, are all going to be sitting there in their sea zone number 1, waiting to barrel into the Casablanca convoy zone and attack the incoming American reinforcements. It's going to be compromising the American buy. We're thinking this far ahead as far as Germany is concerned. We didn't think so far ahead on the other end of the board, but more of that in a minute. So, another thing to notice is that I've put a baggie of French units covering the American aircraft because I've made the mistake more than once of buying American air prematurely. You can't buy them on turn number 7. Yeah, I've made that mistake a couple of times. I've been told off by Matt Hyra once even. But we've got this attack down here into Cairo from M&M's. Now, in all my childish enthusiasm at the end of the last video, I said that there's an attack on by Germany into Cairo, and Italy didn't want to compromise that by putting extra units in there to take up to the 8 stack limit. However, having a night off and reconsidering my position, taking the attack numbers as I used them, if you've got, say, a 3 or less there, you've got 3 attack numbers for artillery. So we've got about 22 hit points going into the Cairo zone. The UK can muster 29 in defence. They've got a fighter in there, and they've got 3 landmines on top of that. You know, a good hit from a landmine, that attack has just gone completely west. So whilst I would like to take that one on, I don't think it's possible. I was even going to roll a dice and say that there was a 60-40 or 70-30 chance that the Germans would take that attack on and go for that instant win. But we've already really decided with the Axis to go for a major victory, holding on to Tobruk, Mareth and Tunis rather than that instant win. I don't think it's on. And if we go too hard here, and as the Brits tried with their little punch out earlier on before they were really ready, and they were actually quite worried about a counter-attack, but I think the numbers here just say no. That Germany can't take that on and risk the Brits rampaging back out of Cairo when they've worked themselves in such a good position. I mean, their position has been partly boosted, the Axis position, by the Brits' policy of going for a major naval defence early on in this game, which seems to be working out as well. But we've got a really nice balanced position here, and I think if I was to take that attack on, I'd probably ruin that nice balance that's occurred. So there will be no combat in the German turn. They would just be landing their reinforcements into Tripoli and running some of these units backwards and forwards. I think using the cheaper infantry down this end and the heavy attacking units up there in the west side is probably the best bet. And they've even buying themselves 1 landmine to go into M&M's just to hold the Brits back, as well as the Brits have done to them a couple of times. So that is it for Germany. No more waffling. I'll make all those moves off camera and even stick their fighters, with 1 they're purchasing and 2 from the Tripoli convoy defence at the moment, all into Tunis to defend up there. Next time I speak to you will be on the UK turn. Okay, quick amendment to the German turn. Once they got onto the conduct combat phase, they are making 2 attacks into here. We weren't going to do one, but we figured we have to pull the trigger this time round. The 1 bomber on Sicily is going on to Malta to do a collateral damage and get rid of that 1 supply. Let's get that one out of the way. And then we can look at this attack into sea zone number 3 with the 1 submarine that have just purchased, plus the 2 that were waiting around in sea zone number 1. I mean, they could have attacked last time round, but I couldn't pull the trigger for some reason. I'm scared of sea mines or whatever else it is. It would have been 2 at 4 versus 1 at 4, and the mine that was in there, and yeah, all sorts of wingy baggy things that I can do. But try and be as independent as possible. I think the Germans, though they want their submarines left to attack the Casablanca convoy zone when the Americans come in, I think they would take that on rather than risking their submarines versus, say, that destroyer from the Brits, maybe some American destroyers as well in Casablanca, and that one fighter on Gibraltar can actually fly a couple of spaces and get involved in an attack there. So I believe it's possibly the best choice for Germany. The first thing that will happen is one of these brilliant British sea mines is going to try again to start doing some damage to the incoming German Navy. And it misses. Fine. So Germany can now roll their 3 submarines in attack, all at 4s. And they've completely sunk HMS Goodnight. And it can have its 1 dying roll at a 4 itself. And narrowly misses. So that's the first bit of success, really, for Germany, Navy-wise, in this game, I'd suggest. So let me just get all the rest of the German term finished and done with, and I'll get on with the Brits in a second. So on to the Brits in record time. They're keeping up with their policy of using a mainly naval defensive mortar. They can't do a lot more else with them than defend it with navy. But it seems to be working out nicely. Let's not just change a winning formula just yet. And they're going to be putting some supplies into there when it comes to their deploy units phase later on. They've advanced their units onto mortar, getting that anti-aircraft gun and 1 more supply, or 2 supplies there. One's been spent. And they're going to be making an attack here. It's the only attack the Brits are actually going to be making into M&M's. Are we in shot there? Sort of, yep. M&M's from Cairo. They're going to be using 11 units. They're just bringing 2 supplies because it's the tanks and this one there and these 8 guys here versus the Germans trying to defend M&M's. It's again, not too bad for the Brits this time round going forward because they've got a few supplies coming up, and if we weaken these Germans there, they're too chicken to attack them last time. No, I think it was a wise move. Then there's not enough reinforcements coming through from Italy or from Germany to really worry the Brits too much. But it may again just be a skirmish attack. The Germans, first of all, will loosen off one of their landmines, or the only landmine that they've got, trying to push the guys back in the first place. And the German landmines are no match for the British landmines. 0 hits. So let's start rolling these guys out. The Brits are spending these 2 supplies, and Germany are spending 1 supply from back here. That's all done. And we can fly our British Spitfire in a 4, I believe it is. It says checking his chart. It's a 4. So it's 1 at 4 for the aircraft coming in first. No anti-aircraft guns. It scored a hit first up. Nice. So we got these 2 Shermans, Hermann Shermans, which we got on loan from Germany. They roll in at 5s and score 1 more hit. It looks like this was a good time for the Brits to attack. The last turn clearly wasn't. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dice. They're all going to be rolling in, and Poppet's moving around in the background at 3s. So it's going to be 2 rolls because I've got 2 dice sat down there. And I can see 3 hits out of that. Oh, that's a bit heavy, a bit heavier than Germany would have wanted. And there's still 2 more dice to come. And 1 more hit has been scored. That is a absolute brilliant roll for the UK. Not good for Germany at all. 6 units must come off from there, which, well, it's going to be the cheapest ones that they can do, the most useless ones that they can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an artillery piece is also going to go. It's all infantry artilleries. They all defend at 3s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dice, all at 3s for Germany. What can they do back to the Brits? 1 big handful of dice. And it's not as good as the British attack at all, not by a long chalk. There are just 2 hits I can see in there at 3s. Everything else is missed. Brits will happily take those 2 on their infantry. Just like that. All these guys are lost and gone for Germany. Mein Gott, I hear them saying. So, do the Brits now carry on with this attack? Let me have a quick think about it. Is there much to think about, I hear you ask? Well, yes, because it's going to cost us 2 supplies to take out 2 units, because I think we want to get in the full quota of 8 units into there. We've got a few supplies coming through. Just one batch is in here at the moment, and we haven't got one queued up to come in the Atlantic convoy zone. That's going to go into the mortar convoy zone. Would we want to wait another round? Or I think possibly I'm happy enough to go through with at this stage, because we've got 10, 14 supplies at this stage. We can do that this time round. We can burn 2 more supplies by the UK and ask the Germans what they're going to do. And again, if they're going to be facing all these guys here, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units versus them. They're going to be lost anyway. So I think Germany will probably spend 1 more supply out of that batch of 5 that's there. I'm just grabbing some stuff here. That will leave them with 5 comes off, 4 goes on. And they would try to defend that and get some sort of hitting backness versus the Brits that are coming into it. So there's no more anti-aircraft guns to fight. That was the 2 fresh ones. Brits are going to roll in there. But let's roll in with the 2 Hermann Shermans straight up there at 5s. Just try and end it in an early roll. We've got 1 of those hits out of it. Okay. And the Spitfire goes in at a 4 and misses. And then we're going to get 6 dice now after that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all at 3s, and we've got 2 hits out of it. It's just enough there. So those 2 Germans are gone, and they're going to get a dying roll. 2 guys at 3, try to do something back in defence, and score 1 more hit off the Brits. So, well, that's that done. That is that done. M&M's has now fallen once again into the British hands. These guys have to all move in there up to the stack limit of 8, which I think is everybody. Fighter can land back into Cairo in the non-com phase. Let me just sort out all the rest of the non-com. I don't think there's actually going to be any more non-coms for the Brits, and get their reinforcements on the board. And I'll see you on the Italian turn. Okay, so the entirety of the Italian turn was rather a damp squib. I think this non-aggression pact between the Axis forces and the Allied forces around Mortar, Benghazi, Tripoli seems to be holding up. No one really wants to risk their defences and go and attack somewhere else. We had that 1 British movement out to there in one of the earlier videos, but that's really been about it. And I can only see this persisting for a short while longer, because someone's got to pull the trigger and get out of their comfort zone and start attacking each other in this area. It may be the Brits doing that on turn number 8 or 9 once the Americans get into full swing. We'll have to see how it all works out. All Italy have done is once again attacked Mortar. They had an anti-aircraft gun and a 1 supply which was lost to collateral damage. Apart from that, they've moved themselves into Tobruk in a larger way, emptying out Benghazi, moved some guys into Beir Hashim, and with a bit of luck, all the units that are in Benghazi convoy zone will land into Benghazi later on. But the Brits might decide in turn number 8 to start getting themselves a bit more aggressive round there once they got those 3 of those 5 supplies landed in Mortar. But that'll be next turn number 8. We've got to do the Americans now. They're coming in on turn number 7, and they're coming in a big way, dropping into the beaches down there in Casablanca, Oran and Algiers. I'll bring you one of those battles. No point bringing all 3 to you, and we call it quits after that. So the next time I speak to you, I'll be on with the Americans. So with American land finally coming into this battle now, they're getting a mainly anti-submarine purchase, as much as they can afford, with just a couple of destroyers in there. And I'm going to bring you the first battle into Casablanca. I think it's the best one to pick. Should it go terribly wrong, I'll recall someone else's. But let's just get this one rocking and rolling first. We have got, for the Americans, 5 guys in there. They all roll in at 2s. They spend the 1 supply, which is a prescribed move for them. And there's the 2 French guys, Vichy French, trying to defend at 3s. And America have scored, they have scored 3 hits out of that. So the French guys have been lost straight away, completely wiped out. They get their 2 dying rolls here. And knock out 2 Americans as well. So that's an unfortunate move for America, but at least they got their landing done straight off. We continue a similar thing along the coast here. If you don't know the Vichy rules, they keep on remaining as opposition to the Allied forces until they entirely miss in a turn. The Vichy, that is, missed in a turn. Then they decide to change side and become Allied forces. I'll do all that off camera, and I shall end the turn there. I will see you in video number 8, turn number 8, on with Germany sometime in the near future. Till next time, be cool.